Hello and welcome to the Ninqueso Exploring Japan channel, where I am on a journey to find out everything about Japan at the moment from the comfort of my sofa. And today I'm going to be watching a video on bear safety in Japan. I have been looking for a video listing kind of the types of bears that you will find in Japan, but I've not found one of those yet. If you do know of any, please pop it down in the comments so that I can take a watch to find out the varieties of bears that they have in Japan. But I'm going to be watching this video on bear safety. Now, my knowledge of bear safety is obviously limited, being in the UK and the fact that we don't have bears. You know, the most dangerous thing I've seen is like a squirrel, really, in the wild. But I do know from some of the other videos I've watched that carrying some bear spray with you if you are out on a hike, and also that they have bear bells as well, where you like ring them to scare the bears off, because on the whole most bears don't actually want to encounter people either. But it'd be interesting to see exactly the kind of tips this video has. So let us jump in and find out about bear safety in Japan.
Japan, their habitat. Then I'd like to share a few stories of bear attacks that happened right around here in northern Japan, in Iwate, just over the last 3
bear
weeks.
Attacks, that's
then
not
finally,
good.
I'll explain what you should do if and when you do encounter a bear. On the main island of Japan, Honshu, as well as in Shikoku, the only type...
See, that's the kind of thing. It's like, I don't know what I would do, because we just don't have anything like that here in the UK that is potentially life-threatening.
Type of bears that you'll encounter are the Asiatic black bear. In Japanese, those are called Tsukinowaguma.
Okay, the
A
Asiatic
lot of people
black
from North
bear.
America are used to dealing with black bears and don't find them very scary because there aren't that many deaths associated with them. This is a mistake. The bears here, though they may
Kelly's come to find out about the bears too. She's concerned.
look similar, and in fact, if anything, they're a little bit smaller than a lot of the black bears can be, they are much more dangerous. The population has recently been increasing, and the number of bear attacks is on the rise over the last 10 years. Unlike in a lot of countries, this isn't because of human development encroaching on their natural habitat, generally speaking, but often because the opposite is happening in Japan. People are abandoning the rural areas. Towns are becoming ghost towns, and people are retreating to the cities.
Yeah, I have heard that
areas
before.
that bears once knew to steer clear of are now open ground to them, and they're encroaching on there looking for...
I have heard that about bears, that they're very like, what's the word I'm looking for? They're very, like, they'll stick to certain pathways and certain areas, and each generation will stick to those areas. So I'm guessing as, like, the population is moving away from these rural things, they're slowly creeping around more.
Or more food, especially as their population increases. These Asiatic black bears can get a taste for human food, and so generally, once they've attacked and tasted humans, they'll go after them again, and if they've eaten garbage or food left behind by campers or hikers, they get a taste for that and seek out humans as well, which is dangerous.
Yeah, that's why you shouldn't drop any food and rubbish and bits about.
Gotten a taste for human food, they are going to seek that out again. And in fact, sometimes they can spread that like among other bears. Maybe there's some sort of oral tradition among the bears where they're like, hey,
have a little
those
natter.
People walking around with the bells, they're actually pretty delicious.
Well, we've all seen what bears are like with picnic baskets.
In Japan, and these are larger and more ferocious than the bears you find around here where I live. But my experience is from living and hiking here in Honshu, and so in this video I'm going to primarily talk about the black bears, not the brown bears, because I don't have first-hand experience with those brown bears. I'll leave that to people.
See, this is why I need to find a video which is going over all the types of bears in Japan, because I'd be interested to know just how sort of different it is in each area and how common it is to sort of see them as well.
Who do. Now, one bear generally gives birth to 1 to 3 cubs, and these cubs will stay with the mother bear for the first 2 years of their life. So if you see a bear cub or 2 or
I
3,
imagine that's when they're
close by,
very dangerous.
And these mama bears are, as I'm sure you know, famously nervous and protective, and will freak out and attack you if they feel that you might be any threat to their cubs. I've been paying attention to bear attacks in the news recently, and so let me tell you about 3 separate cases that just happened within the last 2 weeks. All of these took place in Iwate, where I live. In the first one of these cases, a man in Ninqueso was attacked in town, walking on a rural road, and a bear just sort of leaped out of the bushes when he was walking his dog and came at him. He was carrying an umbrella, which he tried to beat off the bear with, and he escaped with minor injuries. He was bitten and clawed a little bit, but both of them lived and were taken to the hospital. They were fine.
That is not what you expect while you're out walking your dog, is it? That a bear just jumps out of a bush and goes for you. Man.
Second case, which was in Kitakami in central Iwate, a forestry worker was returning to his vehicle at 9:30 in the morning. He was with 6 others, but they were not right next to him at the moment. And as he was alone going back to his vehicle, a bear leaped out of the bushes, climbed a fence that was between him and the bear, and proceeded to attack him, biting and clawing him before running away again. In this case, the man was injured and hospitalized briefly, but again, nothing life-threatening. It wasn't too bad. And then...
But why? That seems like quite extreme for a bear to attack like that, to actually scale a fence to come over.
The final case, which I believe took place on June 1st this year, 2022, in Rikuzen Takata City, which is southeast of Morioka on the coast, a beekeeper was tending to his hives when a bear came out of the nearby forest and approached the beehive looking for honey, as you might expect. Now, this beekeeper didn't want the bear, obviously, to destroy his hive, and so he picked up a farming scythe that he had nearby and swung it around, managing to scare the bear away. However, the bear wasn't done. You see, you can hear a bear bell maybe in the background. Maybe you can't. I'll talk about those bear bells in just a minute.
I can hear it in my headphones. I do know about the bear bells.
Chased the bear away with his farming scythe. It came back, this time charging directly at the beer. Yeah, it was charging at the beer. The beekeeper did manage to scare the bear off, but it immediately returned. This time, not going after the hive, but charging directly for the beekeeper himself. Now, this was a 73-year-old man, but apparently he still had some good arms because he used his farming scythe to hack at the bear as it came at him, and he killed the bear with his farming scythe. You can see how tough some of these locals are around here. So those are 3 stories.
Okay, so it's not only the bears we have to watch out for, it's the beekeepers as well.
Of bear attacks
I'm sure none of these are like, they're not that common.
Actually.
But...
Now, about bear attacks. A huge majority of them actually occur right on the edge of small villages and towns, not on hiking trails. And another huge majority of them occur when people are foraging for wild vegetables, like I do every year, off trail. People in Japan generally believe in using a bear bell to keep away or scare away bears. There is no conclusive evidence on the effectiveness of bear bells, but it is true that generally speaking, if you announce your...
It's like that thing though, isn't it? It's kind of like, it's better to do it than it not be that effective than not do it, and actually it does work.
Presence to bears, they will keep away from you, whether you're doing that with a bell, by talking, by calling out once in a while, by playing a radio. Those are all things that some people do to sort of...
I need a marching song then for when I go like wandering around Japan.
That said, the bears here in Japan
that is
have
quite
very
scary looking.
Individual personality. Some bears are shy and are going to stay away when they hear a bell or people talking. Other
that is a bit of a
Don't
beast.
even care. They're just going to walk right on by. And I've had bears walk right ahead of me on the trail when I was
like
talking rather loud.
Honey badgers, they just don't
sort of
care.
Stopped, looked at me, thought, what's this guy? Whatever, and then kept walking. Other bears are aggressive, like some of the stories I just told, and upon seeing a human will charge at them and attack. So there's a real variation in the personality of bears and maybe how they're feeling that day. Who knows? It does seem likely,
I get
however,
that. Some
that
days I'm
most
just like, don't want to interact
shy.
with people.
Most bears are timid, and generally speaking, if you're talking with your friends or making noise, they're going to stay away, and you'll never even notice that they were nearby. So I would say that's a general good practice. So let's say you...
Yeah, just don't go walking around by yourself and make sure you got noise going. Got ya. I need a friend now.
See a bear. First, let's say that you just spot a bear at a distance, it hasn't noticed you yet, and it's walking in your general direction. What I have heard from experts is that if you're not alone, if you're with someone else, what I heard you should do is tell your friend to run as fast as they can in another direction. Then the bear will see them, chase after them, and you'll be fine. I don't know if he was a park ranger, but a professional park employee told me that joke. He said, yeah, tell your friend to run if you see a bear, then the bear will chase after them and you'll be fine. No, seriously, if you see a bear and it hasn't noticed you, what you're supposed to do is stop and talk to it. Call out to it, not in a loud, aggressive voice, not like, hey, you, get out of here.
Can we sing a song to
say,
it? Do you think that
hey,
will
bear,
help?
How's it going? Human
Okay,
here.
just
How
talk.
you basically...
Nice. So kind of like when I see a cat. Hello? How are you? Oh, aren't you cute? Please don't eat me. That kind of thing.
Just let it know you're there. Again, because there's this individuality among the personality of bears, if you yell at it aggressively, some bears will be like, oh, you're talking to me? Huh? And they'll come at you at that point. That is
just
not
be nice, just manners, politeness to the bear. Do they understand English, or would I have to speak to it in Japanese? Because my Japanese is very limited at the moment. Watashi wa Ninqueso, that's about it. I'm trying to learn. Mental note, must learn Japanese words to fend off bears.
So you don't want to yell
For
at it.
bear introductions.
Just let it know you're there. And I've done this. I believe it was last year. I saw a bear coming out of the forest towards me, and it was fairly far away. And so I just took out my pepper spray, so I had it, and sort of let it know I was there.
Yeah, that's
and
what
turn around.
I thought bear spray was like, kind of like pepper spray. Because I think bears have quite sensitive noses, don't they? So if you do spray them with it, it's going to irritate quite a bit.
And ran. And that's what they'll do in the vast majority of cases. So let's say you see a bear and it's close up, but it's stopped and it's just looking at you. In that case, too, you just want to stop, maybe talk to the bear calmly. Oh, hey, bear, I'm a human. What's up? And you want to maybe slowly back away. What you don't want to do
is run.
Is turn away from it.
Yeah. I've heard that with like sharks as well. It's like always keep them in eye contact, because they're less likely to charge at you, or in sharks' cases, they're less likely to try to go for you if they know that you're looking at them. But as soon as you sort of turn away, then that's when they're going to take their opportunity.
You don't want to show it your back, and you definitely never want to run away from a bear. If you run away from a bear, that's going to, as you probably know, trigger those instincts, and it's going to just chase after you, and then it will hurt you, almost certainly. So you never run from bears.
I'm not fit enough to run, so that's not going to be an option. I could hobble away from it, but that's about the best I could do.
That's the worst thing you can do. If a bear actually attacks you, then it's a good idea to fight it off. With the Japanese black bears, you do not want to play dead. That's not going to work. And so I always carry pepper spray, bear pepper spray. I have some on me right now as well. If you don't have pepper spray, you just make do with what you have. You have a walking stick.
See, that's the thing. It's like, I think I would definitely, no matter what, take something like that with me. From like, even before I watched this video, I was aware of the bears, and it just seems to make sense to have something like that with you.
Something like that, you know, use it like a bait.
But again, I'm not going to let him finish. But yeah, again, like he was saying, like walking sticks and things like that, you don't want to put your flesh. You want to keep something between you and the bear, I would imagine, because their teeth, claws are going to do you a lot of damage. But if you've got something between you and the bear, it gives a little bit more like safety to you.
Baseball bat, whack at it. You do want to fight a black bear. That is a good idea because they're not that big. They can hospitalize you and they can kill you, but if you're a reasonably healthy adult, you've got a good chance again.
Oh my God. I used to be a reasonably healthy adult.
This one, you know, punch him in the eye, poke him in the eye, whatever.
Gouge
I would recommend carrying pepper spray,
evil.
and you can buy it in Japan, both on Amazon and at some hiking outfitter shops. I don't think you can bring it with you into Japan, though. That would be a bit weird. To the airport.
I don't think I would do that.
I've been carrying pepper spray for the last 2 years now, but I've never ever used it. It's just sort of a lucky charm. Makes you feel a little bit more safe.
Yeah, it's the having it and not needing it situation, isn't it? I'd much rather have it with me and not need it than need it and not have it.
Probably it isn't necessary, but yeah, it just makes me feel that much more safe. I don't think you really have to worry about bears if you're just visiting Japan and doing a few hikes. Your chances of meeting them are extraordinarily low. I don't want anyone to feel like, wow, Japan is so dangerous. I don't want to go hiking there.
That's Australia. Which I'm sure it isn't, to be fair.
There's bears, man-eating bears, because that's really almost certainly not going to happen. I haven't seen any bears yet this year, and I've been hiking dozens of times already.
Okay.
I generally bump into bears about once a year, and I've never had a bear act aggressively towards me. Almost every time I've seen a bear, they were already running away, or as soon as they noticed me, they went away.
Yeah, I think that's probably like the biggest case. It depends on the your reaction to it and things. If you stay calm, it's probably going to end a lot better for you than if you suddenly panic and start or even if you don't even notice it. That's probably quite bad as well if they sneak up on you, little sneaky bears.
For me. And so it's extraordinarily unlikely that you're going to be attacked by a bear. That said, it's always a good idea to know best practices and to be aware.
That is very true, which is why I've watched your video.
Small the potential risks are. I hope this has been interesting and useful for you. Thank you.
That is. Thank you so much for the video.
And I'll see you on the...
Thank you so much for informing me what to do if a bear does cross my path, if and when I ever get to Japan. Yeah, so let me know down in the comments if you have ever seen a bear out in the wild, because that would be quite interesting to know just exactly what it did. Like I say, I think it probably is quite a rare occurrence with the amount of people that are out there walking around, the amount of bears. Probably doesn't happen too often. But like I say, being in the UK, we just don't have anything like that. Just moving something out of the way in case the cat comes along. Come on, Kelly. No, you're going to stay on the desk. Okay. I'm not going to be able to see the screen now to shrink the thing down. Fine. But yeah, that was interesting to sort of actually know the best sort of practices. My cat has just sat down right in front. I'm going to try and minimize the screen. I believe this is from Go North Japan. Yes, it is. And if you did like their video, do what I did. Pop over to their video and give it a like. But if you did like my video, then please make sure you go down and hit that like button. And if you would like to see more of my journey of exploring Japan, then please make sure you hit that subscribe. But until next time... but before we get to that, until next time, if you do have any sort of suggestions of videos or things that I should watch to expand my knowledge on Japan, please pop them down in the comments and I will get round to taking a look at them. But until next time, just be nice to people. Bye!